Hi, peeps. I'm Auriel Grace from A Spiritual Show. That's what you're going to be watching from now on. It's no longer a Gang of Girls radio, but a spiritual show. And so we're going to change up the, we're going to change it up a little bit. We're going to do some deep dives into history of spiritualism, and we're going to look at some cults, and we're going to look at some legends, and we're changing the show a little bit, kind of putting our big girl panties on. So tonight, though, we're going to be talking about sapphires because it is a birthstone for September. And so I'm kind of excited about this. Anyway, sapphires. That's what we're talking about tonight. I do have a couple of announcements. First of all, for those of you who are receiving emails from my assistant to book readings, I don't have an assistant right now, so please either delete the emails or send me the email address so that I can get after that, okay? Because I will never email you to book a reading. You have to book a reading with me, all right? And you can always book them with me through email at agangofgirlsinc@gmail.com. I am doing $50 Friday, this Friday, 9/10. And that way you can book readings with me on that day. You can book readings with me any day, but that's the special $50 for 45 minutes. Okay. And also, I have 2 books on sale on Amazon right now for the Kindle version. I'm Psychic, Not Telepathic, and Clearing with Purpose is both on sale for 99 cents on Amazon. So you can check that out there for those of you who want to do that, Kindle Unlimited and Kindle books. All right. So you can check that out. So we're going to be talking about sapphires tonight. Sapphires are really, 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 really beautiful. Okay. So, and they come in different colors as well. They're like, they call them the party colors, or or the beauty colors. They call them all different colors, but tonight we're going to focus on blue. I'm going to show you a picture of a blue sapphire. They are really very beautiful. Hope you can see it pretty good. There it is right there. That's a fancy cut blue sapphire. All right, so one of the cool things about, or a bunch of cool things about sapphire, the sapphire is a birthstone for September, as I said. It is the gem of the 45th wedding anniversary, and a sapphire jubilee occurs every 65 years. So that's a couple things about them. Now, sapphire is an oxide mineral. So it is aluminum oxide. And depending on the minerals that are around it, that's what makes the blue, okay? So we've got chromium again. Chromium does it. That's the biggie. It is a corundum. It is as hard as a corundum. So it's a 9 on the Mohs scale. The crystal system is trigonal, and the colors typically are blue. So they can go from like a really kind of bluish green all the way to dark cobalt blue. And it just, again, depends on the aluminum and the chromium in the mineral. All right. So it will vary from gray, black, and colorless. So you'll see colorless sapphires in the jewelry stores, and they are very beautiful and just as great as a blue sapphire. All right. Now, rarity, we want to make sure that you truly get a sapphire. All right, because there's a lot of fakes out there, and we want to make sure that you get one. So make sure that you go to a certified gemologist. Because you want to make sure if you're going to be spending thousands of dollars on a gemstone, that you get a sapphire, a blue sapphire, not something that might be a sapphire. So you want to make sure about that, okay? So the geography for sapphires is Australia, Afghanistan, Cambodia, Cameroon, China, and the Shandong district, Colombia, Ethiopia, India. Kashmir sapphires are the best. Kenya, Laos, Madagascar, Malawi, Mozambique, Myanmar, and Burma, Nigeria, Rwanda, Sri Lanka, Tanzania, Thailand, the United States, and the Montana state, and Vietnam. Okay, so you want to make sure that when you buy your stone to find out where it comes from too. Notice too, we just talked about rubies. So a lot of where rubies come from, blue sapphires also come from, because again, corundum. So really hard. They're almost as hard as a diamond. Okay, so we want to make sure that you get the good stuff. Sapphires and rubies, again, are often found in the same geographical area. All right, the best qualities comes from, again, Kashmir, India, followed by Sri Lanka and Madagascar. Okay, those three places have minerals that come from those three places are the most beautiful and brilliant. That's my opinion from all the shopping that I've done and from the things that I've learned about where we can find our stones. Okay. All right. And so Madagascar will come up again too when we talk about fluorite. All right. So untreated sapphires are worth more than those that are treated. So remember, gemstones do get treated for their coloring to brighten them or deepen the color. All right. So when you do get your sapphire, you need to know if it has been treated, and usually it will say it on the certificate. Okay. So most sapphires have been heat treated for color. When you buy your sapphires, make sure to find out what type of sapphire you're buying. Again, make sure that you do that, and make sure that you get a hold of a certified gemologist when you do want to buy your sapphires, right? So one of the most beautiful stones on the planet, I think, is a star sapphire, and they are the reason why they become a star sapphire. Here's a picture of a star sapphire. Hope you can see this. See the star right here? So this star is created by rutiles in the stone. It is still a sapphire, but it's rutilated, right? So a sapphire that exhibits a star, like asterism, that's what they call them. Star sapphires contain intersecting needle like inclusions following the underlying crystal. So it looks like when you look down into it, it looks kind of 3D because of the way that it's set up. So it's underlying, and it causes an appearance of a 6-rayed star. Now, sometimes you can get a 12-rayed star, and I've seen them. They're really pretty and they're really small. So I had to do it through a loop. With a single overhead light source. So when you put the light, you have to put the light directly down on it so you can really see the star. You can see the star without the light a lot of times, but to really see how beautiful and how brilliant and deep the star goes is a light. Okay, so it is a mineral rutile and it's made out of titanium oxide. Okay, so we want to make sure titanium dioxide, I'm sorry. So you want to check that out. In order to see this star sapphire, you can go to Wikipedia. They have great pictures of sapphires there. All right. I was like, wow. All right. So the star sapphires are on display. If you want to go see them and you're close to these areas, the Star of India, mined in Sri Lanka, which is 563 point carats. Yep, is on display currently at the Museum of Natural History in New York City. The Star of Bombay is 182 carats and is on display at the National Museum of Natural History in Washington, D.C. So if you're around those areas, go look at these beautiful star sapphires that are pretty huge, and you'll be able to see the stars. All right, so I was looking at the legends and the folklore about sapphires. I got a lot of information today about it, and I was pretty like, wow, people have been using them for a long time. And the sapphires can also be used as a gem elixir. So if you want to know what a gem elixir is, you can check out my previous videos on YouTube, and it'll say gem elixir on the video. So you can check out how to make gem elixirs. They're pretty easy. Everybody can do it. Just remember that you really have to be careful what stones you're making gem elixirs with. Some stones you can, and some stones probably not. Good idea. Okay. All right. So, and in that video, I give you a list of stones that you absolutely can make gem elixirs with and what they can help you with. All right. So, now, sapphires have been used for a long time for the eyes, like healing eyes, healing your eyes. All right. So, and they used gem elixirs. They would place the sapphires on the eyes. They would do all kinds of crazy stuff with the sapphires. Have you wear a sapphire? So, and it doesn't matter if it's cut or if it's raw. It can still. That's what they have thought, is that sapphires can help clear your eyes. All right, and give you better eyesight. So for centuries, sapphires have been known as a symbol of innocence, longevity, and a talisman for good health. The stone represents prosperity, beauty, and inner peace. So whenever we see blue, whenever I see blue, I always think about peace. Like, oh, it's so much better just to look at the blue. All right, so it is also a royal gemstone. So sapphires are known as a regal gemstone. And it dates back to the 2nd century AD. And during this time, kings and queens, mostly kings, would put the sapphires in their crowns. All right, so ancient Greeks associated sapphires with Apollo. The oracles of Delphi wore sapphires while they were working their oracles, while they were channeling, because they felt like the sapphires really connected them to Apollo. So that was pretty cool. Later on, sapphires were popular with necromancers and witches due to their ability to tap into the third eye chakra. Again, eyes, eye. All right. Ancient Persia. And ancient Persians believed that blue sapphire were chips from a huge pedestal that was holding up the earth. So that's what they believed. The reflections of that pedestal were what created the sky. So I thought that one was pretty cool. So the clergy believed that sapphires were associated again with purity, chastity, and known as a sacred gem of gems. So sapphires are mentioned in the Bible. And during the 12th century, sapphires began to be associated with the clergy. There was a legend that the 10 Commandments were given to Moses on a sapphire slab. Now we know it as being lapis lazuli, because lapis lazuli has that depth a sapphire does. It may not have the clarity of it, but it does have the depth of it, the depth blue, deep blue. So they were said to act as an antidote to poisons. This is where we get the gem elixir. But they were especially used to heal eye complaints. The first recorded date is 1391, but the ancient Egyptians used all blue gemstones for the same purpose, for your eyes, all three of them. Okay, star sapphires were especially shrouded in mystical properties. The asteria or star sapphire might be called a stone of destiny, as the three crossbars which traverse it are believed to represent faith, hope, and destiny. So, as the stone is moved or the light changes, a living star appears, a guiding gem, warding off all ill omen and the evil eye. Okay, so also sapphires were also believed to be placed in the breastplate of Aaron. So he was a high priest, and they made this breastplate. It was probably maybe about as big as my iPad, and they placed it in his garments. And they had all these different gemstones on this breastplate to help him as a high priest. Um, so sapphires, rubies, and diamonds were placed in the breastplate along with other stones such as like amethyst. I think jade was in there. There was quartz crystal. So there were other stones that were placed to assist him with being a priest. Okay, so J.P. Morgan, he bought the Star of India, and they call it a cursed star, is one of the most famous of all gemstones, a 563 carat star sapphire, one of the largest ever discovered. It has a fascinating history, and some have speculated that it is cursed. J.P. Morgan, a very wealthy banker, remember, commissioned George Frederick Kuntz, the esteemed gemologist, to assemble some of the most spectacular gems in the world for the Paris Exposition of 1900. The Star of India was the Star of India was amongst the gemstones he procured for this occasion. After the exposition, Morgan donated the gems to the American Museum of Natural History. It resided there quite peacefully until 1964. On October 29th, a group of men headed by Jack Murphy stole the Star of India and a collection of other gems. Okay, in what was an infamous heist of its day. During the museum's opening hours, the gang unlocked a bathroom window, climbed through later on, and stole the gemstones. Okay, but they were caught. And luckily for them, the alarm had run out of batteries when they were doing their heist. And so they made off with the gems worth over $400,000. So over $3 million today. So the Star of India was uninsured, but luckily the gang were captured a couple of days later. So they led the police to Miami, a Miami bus station, and that's where the Star of India was, and some other things. But the Star of India was also, they felt like it was cursed. Now, I'm not sure, like, why. I couldn't figure out why it was cursed. All I know is that they feel like it's a cursed stone. Maybe it's because of the robbery. I don't know. The word sapphire is from the Hebrew word saphir in the Old Testament. And as I said before, it is in Exodus chapter 28, verse 18, where God is giving instructions for making a breastplate for Aaron. So you can look at that. It is the Old Testament, Exodus chapter 28, verse 18. And I think it describes the breastplate there too. God giving the instructions for the breastplate so that Aaron has a better connection to his source and also his guidance. All right. So it has 4 rows of these precious stones. The second row contains the emerald, sapphire, and diamond. And it also contains a ruby, I think, in the 4th row. So, and like I said, it's about as big, I think, as this iPad is. So the sapphire blue ray. Okay, so the sapphire blue ray is the peaceful ray. It's the ray of light that we look at when we think of being of that inner peace. It is also the ray that works with Archangel Michael works with, the blue ray. So the Archangel Michael and the Archea of Faith, they work with that ray that is the ray of truth. Okay, because that's what the Archangel Michael is about, right? He's got the sword of truth. He goes in there and gets the truth out of people. He cuts those cords and he clears you out so that you can see the truth within yourself as well. So not only is he like our great warrior, but he also assists us with coming to our own truth, which is pretty awesome, right? So when you think of blue, look at it, and what is the first thing that you think of? Do you think of truth? Do you think of peace? Do you think of the Archangel Michael? Because when you look at the blue, anything blue, like sapphire blue or cobalt blue, that is a color that you can use to connect with the Archangel Michael. So for those of you who want to connect with him, and those of you who want to be around him or have him surround you in his ray of light, the blue ray of light, to guide and protect you, focus on the color blue. And that will help you connect to the Archangel Michael. So a lot of you have asked me about that. What are the colors of the angel? Well, that color is what resonates with the Archangel Michael. All right. So, and you want to, let's see, I want to make sure that, also, they used sapphires. They would crush sapphires in the medieval times to make blue paint. And so it's, let's see, it's the deep blue sapphire in many medieval paintings and stained glass windows. The translucent shade most famously featured in the Cathedral of Chartres, France. The interior of this vast stone building is kept deliberately dim, so when the light passes through the windows, the depth and beauty of the blue glass is particularly noticeable. So medieval glass workers used ground lapis lazuli and sapphires to stain the glass for Mary's robe. Is that cool or what? I mean, yikes, that's a very expensive robe. Very awesome for the Mother Mary. So the blue ray is associated with the Archangel Michael, like I said. So make sure that you connect to the blue ray when you feel like you need protection or you feel like your home needs protection. Because you can surround your home in that light as well to protect against whatever you are afraid of. All right. So the physical and emotional uses. So physical and emotional uses are, it enhances self-confidence and while standing in the world. All right. So it has a badge of royalty. Hey, Kelly, Bonnie, and Rebecca. Hi. All right. So it's connected to the throat and third eye and crown chakras, opening the spiritual and psychic perception. All right. Enhances clear and truthful communication, soothes inflammation and burns, eases headaches and migraines. Okay, so the folklore is it soothes inflammation and burns, and it helps with headaches. All right, so the healing effects: place pieces over the throat, third eye, and crown chakra to help expand psychic awareness. Use a gem remedy made with blue sapphire in order to relax the system and ease tension. And the personal uses, so wear it for self-confidence. All right. Now, I saw over on Amazon that you can get some raw sapphires. They're really pretty. They are raw sapphires. And I believe one sapphire rough was like $10. So if you want a sapphire, that's a good place to get them. They're sometimes they look like this when they're raw. That's what they look like. Some of the sapphires, raw sapphires, will be a little bit darker blue, more blue, not so greenish blue. Um, and that way you can have them for your layouts. And remember, stones don't have to be huge in order to be powerful. Really small stones can be just as powerful as a large stone. So when you're looking for stones, look for the stone that you're most attracted to, that you just can't keep your hand off of when you're going for your layouts and you're going for, um, your jewelry, or you want something to sit on your desk, right? Because I have like a ton of crystals on my desk right now. Some of them are like maybe this big, but they're just as powerful as the ones that are larger than them. So you don't need really huge crystals to do your layouts. You just need them big enough to like place on the person or around the person in the grid that you're creating. Okay. If you want a sapphire to place in your home, for that, like I said, the blue ray for protecting and connecting with the Archangel Michael, make sure that you put it in a place where it's there. You can grab it whenever you need it. So maybe on your desk, or if you have an end table where you sit, a chair and an end table where you sit at night, you want to place it there. Okay. Okay. All right. So that's it on sapphires. I hope you enjoyed the show. Next week, we're going to be talking about the Fox sisters. So Theo and I are going to be on, and it'll be very fun for us. We've got a lot of info on the Fox sisters and the beginning of this like spiritualism. So it'll be really great. I hope you can join us. And for those of you who want a newsletter, you can go over to my website at aurielgrace.net, sign up for the newsletter, and you'll get the newsletter once a month. That's it. I only send out one newsletter a month. All right. So I hope you have a wonderful week. Remember, keep your heart open and align with the energy of love. And I'll see you next week. Good night.